and then it just skips right back. Okay, cool.
Yep. Hello, everyone. I am
Hi.
Dan. I am Dan. She's a fighter. Schneider, the creator of iCarly.
Dan, hold her tighter. She's a fighter, Schneider. Well, it's been a long day without you, my friend.
And I gotta find it be so simple
when I see you again. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I just watched that fucking Why Drones Suck. I tweeted recently that I miss Filthy Frank. And my boy Trevor, responded with that little video, I have a very hard poo. Because a vegan, sometimes it leaves cuts. And I'm proud of, I'm sorry, I'm so fucking drunk. Yeah, but fucking, oh god. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Double D Experience. Your mom's favorite podcast, sometimes funny, sometimes serious, but always off the cuff. I'm David.
And your absentee father's favorite podcast, too.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Yeah, when he said he was going for cigarettes, he actually meant I'm never coming back. So, just... As we all know, I literally cracked a cold one, too. This is actually seltzer water.
I heard,
Not beer. It's seltzer water. So, but every time I drink, seltzer water, I always think, because I know some people out there, they just think, regular tap water is just so beneath them. So they have to get, Pellegrino or whatever the fuck. And every time I see someone, ordering, Pellegrino, it's just kind of And also, Pellegrino's not cheap either. I think a good case of it is, still more expensive than, let's say, a can of carbonated sparkling water. Whatever the fuck you drink. I was gonna say C'est La Vie, but that's not...
All for a liquid.
LaCroix, whatever the fuck. Yeah, that.
I think you got it, yeah. All for a liquid that is recycled out of my piss.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. Let me ask you something.
Everyone's just drinking carbonated piss water. Let that
yeah.
sink into, we're getting into conspiracy double D right now.
That's not conspiracy. Water is recycled.
I know, but people just...
Apparently they've been preaching conspiracy theories to me since the 8th fucking grade. Gotta bring them up young. Teaching us about irrigation or irrigation or whatever the fuck it is. Sponsored by QAnon.
Our teachers, though, low-key, everyone had, their own, I guess, convictions, and I don't think there's anyone who loves to throw that shit at other people, especially people that are younger than us, than teachers.
Yeah.
They just love to tell them, their own fucking theories. It's even worse when I've met history professors that I've never met Holocaust deniers, but everyone's got their own sometimes really twisted take on certain things, and I'm not going into specifics, but I think everyone knows what we're talking about, and especially and the further modern that we get into history, fucking whatever, 9/11 and the war in Iraq, everyone just loves to throw out. Yeah, remember when the whole Twin Towers thing? Everyone was always talking about George Bush knew that jet fuel didn't melt steel beams and that whole thing. And
George Bush didn't fucking know what 3 times 5 is.
He didn't even know where he didn't know where Indonesia was either.
Exactly.
Do you remember that whole thing that happened?
I think so, yeah.
That tsunami hit, and then he woke up right after Christmas, and he was being told oh yeah, Mr. President, there was a giant tsunami that hit Indonesia. We need you to put it say an address to the nation. And it's to be fair, and I remember watching a comedian who was talking about this, and I kind of agreed with him. If I was president, and if, let's say, I was that ignorant, I would have been I don't give a fuck where Indonesia is.
If you're gonna be ignorant, be honest, bro. Yeah.
You might as well just say, I don't give a fuck where Indonesia is. I don't even know where the hell it is.
If you pretend you're gonna look like a jackass, man, it's one of my favorite fucking Gabriel Iglesias, one of my favorite Gabriel Iglesias sketches ever. It's Mr. President, it has been a year. What do you plan on doing about Katrina? And it's just Katrina, we're gonna find her.
We're gonna kill her.
We're gonna find her and bring her to justice. We have reason to believe that she is currently in connections with Al Qaeda. They both start with a K.
And you're just like that press secretary, like looking at your other colleagues, like, yo, this guy's
Jesus fucking Christ.
guy's fucking for real. You know, to be fair though, like, I get it though. Like, geography, honestly, in my opinion, should be like something that everyone should know, obviously. But like, if you don't know where a certain fucking country is because you've never been there before or such, like, I can't really blame you. I almost forgot where fucking DR and Cuba was. I almost got those two mixed up one time, and until like someone pointed out, no, you got those flipped. And I felt like a fucking idiot for the next 2 days because, like, you know, I'm a history major. I'm supposed to know where my fucking continents and islands are. At least that goes with the territory. But,
right.
You know, like, if you're a scientist or, like, if you're a mathematician and you don't know where the fuck, I don't know, some countries you can't miss. Like, if you don't know where Russia is, like, you're fucking stupid. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's hard to miss, you know?
And I'm a voice actor. So, if anything, I should also know all the different countries because of Rob Paulson.
Who is Rob Paulson, sir?
He's a very famous voice actor. He was the voice of just one of his most famous roles was Yakko Warner in Animaniacs.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like you ever see that? You remember the meme? You ever see that YouTube song where it's like that that Mexican song that it's played to the tune of that Mexican song of him naming every country in the world?
Yeah. He's actually not bad. He's like actually kind of handsome. Like
Rob Paulson, he was also
65.
He was also Carl.
Carl. Oh my god.
Hi, Jimmy's mom. I got a little surprise for you.
My right monitor just fucking.
I just want to live with the box. I'ma get lazy.
Please turn on my right monitor. You literally just shitted yourself. Like, I might honestly need
Jimmy!
I might honestly need to replace this monitor because it's just been like shitting itself like for the last couple. Yep, it just turned off again.
Oh, that's tragic.
It is an old monitor, and I got it from my cousin as a hand-me-down. It lasted like pretty long though. Not gonna lie, it's had a good life if anything. But yes.
Yeah, but he was Carl. Hi, Jimmy. Like he was Carl Weezer. Yakko Warner in Animaniacs, and there's a song that got memed to shit like a couple of years ago. It's like a song from Animaniacs where he's naming all the countries in the world.
Yeah.
To the tune of that song goes United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, the Venezuela, like that. Yeah, it goes like that. So if anything, I also as a voice actor, I have no excuse to not know where every country in the world is because of that song. But God bless Rob Paulson, man. He had throat cancer.
He had? So
he had throat cancer. He's okay. He overcame that shit, and he's still voice acting.
Good for him.
Yeah, it's fucking. Yeah, he's a boss. Like he is esteemed. He's established in the world of voiceover, and I definitely look. Oh yeah, no, he's done plenty of voices. He was some of the Ninja Turtles in the original cartoons. I don't remember which ones. That's a little before my time. I already meant what's up.
Would you say that he's like? Where would Tom Kenny then be compared like with Rob Paulson? Like, would they kind of be on like the same tier as like in the same tier as in like everyone kind of knows them? Like they're very well known, well established.
Yeah, both of them for sure. Like he's definitely up there. There's a lot of voice actors who are very well known. Obviously, there's Tara Strong who voiced who was chances are like for our generation, she was in a cartoon like from her childhood. Like she at least had one role in like fucking everything like for our shows growing up.
Yeah.
And Rob Paulson, Tom Kenny, what's his name? Why the fuck am I blanking on his name right now? Guy who voiced Bender, John DiMaggio. Yeah, like him.
Right.
Yeah, John DiMaggio, him as well. Like, yeah, no, like, dude, there's a lot of very established ones, a lot of great people to look up to if you're trying to work in that field. If you want to be a voice actor, definitely go to iwannabeavoiceactor.com. That's not a joke. It's it's a website made by D. Bradley Baker, and if you're an aspiring voice actor, you're gonna be like, wow. This guy's speaking into my fucking soul. It's like he knows exactly where I'm at this stage in my life, and he knows who the kind of person I am to want this to have this be my career. So definitely check that website out if you're curious about that.
And
I've learned a lot reading it.
They're not gonna ask you for your social security number, so
no, it's free. It's like a blog.
It does sound like a spam website though, low key. Like the websites that just have like no. I guess sort of creativity in the name, or like at least in the web address, I always just think like, yeah, that's spam. That sounds like spam. That sounds like some spyware that's gonna fuck my computer. And also, I did not know John DiMaggio was born in North Plainfield, New Jersey. He's an all-nader from Rutgers, actually.
Mr. Neutron, I'm not Jimmy.
Oh, my voice cracked. Fuck. Damn it.
I thought you're gonna be like, oh, Jimmy, I love Rutgers. Go Scarlet Knights.
Oh, Jimmy, my hips are moving on their own.
Oh God,
boy.
that's fucked to high hell. Yeah. Cool. Well, in a darker note, it's funny. Like, well, before I even get into that, I'm just gonna say, like, I was just talking with Dennis how I was a little bit concerned about him.
Right? Oh, we're gonna go into that today, huh?
I'm just gonna say, like, Dennis usually, like,
I'm very light-spirited, but when I'm serious, I'm really serious.
No, that's not even true, man. It's like, Dennis, like, you should see our fucking Discord conversations. Like, it usually starts with a meme. One of us will be like, hey, boss, or something like that, just to talk to each other. Sometimes he'll just call me a like, completely unwarranted. It's like all sorts of different fucking things, right? But when me and Dennis were talking about recording it today, and there were like no jokes or anything up until like one gif that he left me towards the end. And when Dennis is talking like a normal person, it's like me as his friend, like who's known him for years. Like I get like a little spider sense. I'm just like, is something wrong? Oh no, is Dennis okay? Oh no, and like he's totally fine. He was just rushing because he's got stuff to do. It's like I forget that sometimes he's also a person, not just this omnipotent voice that I talk to and says a lot of really edgy shit from the other side of my screen. But you know what I mean? It's like you have like those sort of memey conversations with a friend and that's your normal. And so when you don't have that, you're just like, hey, you didn't call me a racial slur for like the entire conversation, dude. Is something wrong? Is everything okay, buddy? Yeah, like, and he's fine, obviously, he's here. But, you know, it's just like, Dennis, I'm worried about you.
My God. Well, I mean, I appreciate the concern, but, I mean, I've gotten that a couple times, and, like, it's, I don't know, it's just always been, like, my default mode. Like, I could, I don't know. I guess I don't know if anyone's ever called me an enigma. And I don't want to ever come off as that, but it's like I have like two modes though, and usually it's like oh, if I'm like happy and everything, like, you know, yeah, I'll be like fucking around and joking around and memeing and like all that good shit. But sometimes I'm just like default like, I don't know, soulless. I don't know if that's the right word. Like, I don't know how to put it, but it's like when I just, let's say, speak normally.
Yeah.
I'm fairly, like, one tone about it. I'd be a terrible voice actor if that was the case. But, like, I'm very much, like, just
unless
kind
you're
of
playing
like
a character who's, like, you know, very monotone and one-toned. There are characters that have been like that.
But, I mean, the thing is, though, like, a lot of, at least from what I've seen, like, if I ever wanted to, let's say, become a voice actor, like, truly become one, like, I'd want to at least try and be, like, not like a Tara Strong or like a Ron Paulson, but like I guess like the best I could possibly be. And in that sense, like I would want to at least like kind of have like more ranges. But the problem is with me is that like I've always noticed that whenever I even speak like normally, and even if let's say like I'm like very enthusiastic about something and like I'm talking about a certain topic or like whatsoever, it's like I'm always just in like that one tone and it's just like in that same range, but it's just in increased levels within it, you know? It's never goes like past that certain fucking level.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's just at least how I am for me. Like,
what you're saying is that like you would rather be like a personality star rather than a character actor. That's basically what you're saying.
No,
like,
I would love to be a character actor though. That's the thing. Like I've always like thought about it in my head and such, but it's like every time I did think about it, like I would have to go take classes just to at least like get out of that fucking one range that I have. And maybe one day in the future, like when I actually have some money, like I'll actually go do it. But it's even when I was young, like one thing that I remember, like I guess we're gonna go into like a little bit of my personal life, like a little bit around middle school and such, like I laughed like pretty loud, and I was actually like a fairly kind of, I guess you could say, like when I talked, like I would speak like fairly loudly. And I remember a lot of times like I would be told like, dude, you're so loud. And then, that like after I heard that, it just like made me go into like the like into like my little bubble and like kind of be very self-conscious, like and almost kind of like it fucked with my head a little bit, because it's I never really got told by anyone else other than like, let's say, and middle schoolers are fucking assholes. Like everyone, if you are like, I don't know if you are in middle school like watching this, but like just know middle schoolers, I think everyone would also remember like middle schoolers are assholes. And
worst time of my life.
Middle schoolers, and depending on where you're going, it could be worse in high school. But yeah, middle schoolers in general, like they're pieces of shit. And like just kind of know that, like, and maybe even remind your kids, if you ever have kids in the future, like that middle schoolers are motherfucking pieces of shit. And I even like to think like you either have to be more of a piece of shit than them just to survive middle school, or you just somehow never get into their radar. And I don't know, like everyone's middle school experience and everyone's like experience in general, like within like a school system is always like different. Like I always hear like horror stories from boarding schools, and I'm like, I know obviously I've never been into one, but like everyone that always like kind of portrays boarding schools in like TV shows and movies, like it just seems like a worse environment than like a normal public school from what I've seen.
Dan, she's a fighter Schneider with Zoe 101. They like portrayed that shit as like, wow, look how cool it is. We get to go to school by the coast and like put our feet into the camera and like put little googly eyes on them, wiggle them around. It's so trendy and fun here.
Trendy for like 2005. Like,
like it's not. No, I imagine that you probably get whipped there. The locker rooms are probably horrible.
Oh yeah, hazing. Hazing's probably like really
exactly.
bad.
Why do you want
like,
to send kids to college that fucking early, basically? Because that's basically what it is. So to that college. Basically, we don't give a fuck about you. Have somebody else take care of you. Just fuck off.
Yeah,
I regret having you in the first place. Like I did not want a kid. I just go die.
I always wondered though, like for the parents, like, I mean, I don't know like their lives and such. This like went real off topic, but like. Like for boarding schools, like I always just wondered, like, I mean, if your parents' lives are just like so fucking extremely busy, like, but even then, like, like for East Asian schools, especially like around, let's say, Korea and Japan, like most kids don't even see their parents for like the whole day or week sometimes, because the kids sometimes right after school they'd go right to like basically cramming school, and it's basically just more school on top of school that you already did for the day. Right. And like you'd be there for hours, and then by the time you come home it'd be like, let's say maybe 7-8 o'clock in the evening, so you'd be having dinner there at home, but nobody would be home though. So like I'm like wondering, like, what is preppy white kid parents' excuse to send their kids to boarding school? I mean, unless it's like, I don't know, a prestigious school. But that's the thing, though. Like, for people like you and me, David, and I guess for the vast majority that listen to this podcast, it's like, our parents never even thought about sending us to boarding school. Because, one, it's expensive. It's like more than what you'd imagine even, like, a typical 4-year school would cost. Like, it's for rich kids, essentially. Like, no one's sending their kids there unless they got the money. And to be fair, though, like, I think boarding school does fuck up your, would fuck up any young kid's, like, mentality a little bit. Because, like,
$61K a year?
That's still more than a lot of other, like, 4-year schools.
Imagine having a kid, bro. Could not be me. Wow.
Or sending them to boarding school, of all fucking things.
I guess, yeah, or, bringing another autistic cripple into the world. I have a couple of reasons. Maybe something will change one day. But until then, I'm my own child.
You'll be fine. I think you'll be fine.
I'll be my own child.
No one
I'll
is saying
eat my own ass. I don't need no one else to do it for me. 6'5" motherfucker. I can bend all the way around this shit. I can.
I could pretend as if I play some mean basketball.
Come on and slam, like on the ground. Like, that's how I'll fucking slam, bro.
On my face and then my ass.
So many people told me I should play basketball, bro. I am gangly and uncoordinated, and if we want to get, like, real with it, I'm white. So,
What? There's white basketball players, and they're not bad.
no, they don't exist.
They exist.
Every single basketball player is black because those are the ones that I saw on TV for the most.
You know, I always wondered too. Like,
This is just what I imagine that, like, the 60-year-olds who, like, watch basketball sound like now. Like, back in my day, I felt more comfortable watching these games, and I'm not quite sure why.
Isn't basketball, like, low-key, though, one of the most low-key, reverse and, like, normal racist sort of sports out there? Because traditionally speaking, like, and especially back in the day, like, if we're talking, like, real early days when, like, basketball was just becoming, like, its own, like, I guess, league. I don't know the history too much about it, but at least from a glance, you could see that at one point, they didn't want any black people at all on their teams.
Yeah.
And then at one point, they realized, oh, black people can help us win games. So let's, like, draft all the black people we could possibly can on our teams and have them stacked. And then eventually, like, at that point, like, white guys who were, let's say, good players, right, were basically put on the sideline because they, like, the coaches and I guess the league staff just collectively thought that black guys or black players just play better than white dudes. And these white guys just could not fucking get into a team because at one point they were just like, you're an undesirable in this sport.
Well, Hollywood told us white men can't jump, so obviously that's why I couldn't play basketball. No, in all real aspects, I couldn't do that because I'm just not built like an athlete, and that's not because I do exercise. It's not because of that. It's just because I don't know if it's a stamina thing or what have you. Might be my back problems that I've had. I don't have an athlete's genes, if you would. I was terrible at sports growing up. It's like, I was a nerd. Whatever. I was that sort of, like, slight stereotype, if you would. Not that it was impossible, but it's also not what I wanted. Wasn't the environment I enjoyed. All sorts of things. Like, no, for all intents and purposes, it was a fucking joke. It was a stupid joke. Anyone can play basketball, of course. It ain't the 60s no more, or whatever year it was that, like, a lot of that integration started to happen in sports. We don't deny people access to sports because of their colors.
David, though, isn't there, like, some touch of, like, comedic irony, though, in that, like, for at one point, like, we didn't want black people, and then right after they just wanted only black people, it's like all these white guys that, like, let's say, aspired to be the greatest basketball player in the world. Not that I'm saying that it's funny that their dreams were crushed, but it's like, at one point, at least for a good chunk of years, like, they just weren't allowed on the teams, like, at all. Like, they chose, let's say, a black guy who's even, let's say, like, just slightly worse than him, like, on the court over him. Like, they picked that black guy over this other white guy who, let's say, was great because, like, sorry, dude, you're white. Sorry, like, they got nothing else to say. It's like, yeah, you're white. Sorry, you can't play. Like, it's like, but this black guy, look at him. Look how black
Once again, society putting the white man down. No, real talk. And that's also racist because they're still stereotyping. Like, it's a positive stereotype, but it's still a stereotype. Oh, you're black, so you're good at basketball, so you're good at sports. Like, Chris Rock proved that is not fucking true. He was fucking garbage at sports growing up. He said that himself like a million times. You watch Everybody Hates Chris. That show is literally about his childhood, and it shows him just getting hit in the face every 3 seconds.
With some artistic license, though. I can't imagine, like, everything. Like,
no. Of course,
obviously.
dude. Like,
I know.
People be teleporting on that show and shit. Like, it's a very, like, cartoony characteristic portrayal, but you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, we're not gonna let, like, back then it's like, oh, we're not gonna let black people on our team because we hate black people, we're racist, blah blah blah. Wait, there's a stereotype that black people are good at sports? Get on here. It's like, no, what are you talking about? I'm not racist. My whole team is black. I look at all the black people I'm surrounded by. Like, but in like the coach's mind or whatever, it's just like, oh, they're better at sports than white people. So I'm gonna win now. Yeah. That's the thing. It's still racist. Doesn't matter that it's a positive stereotype.
Or even like a pragmatic decision. Like, I mean, whatever the choices were, like, I think that kind of whole thing, it kind of extends to like almost every major sport out there, from fucking literally even horseback riding to fucking, like, let's say Formula 1 drivers.
Yeah, I've never seen a black jockey in my life. That I will wholeheartedly. I've seen some Latin ones. I have never seen a black horseback rider in my goddamn days. Not that I watched horseback racing very often.
Yeah.
You only the only people who watch that kind of stuff are very, very old people and gambling addicts. Those are the only two people that still fucking care.
I always thought.
racing.
I think like the essence of horseback riding is, or like at least horseback racing, like going to like whatever racetrack out there in Jersey or wherever, like seeing an actual horse race, like I thought I actually like in essence was actually very exciting, cause like there's like just something so fucking like gets your blood pumping. Like if there's a horse, like I wouldn't be there to bet, but like it's just like the same as rooting for any other athlete. But I guess really in this case you would be rooting more for the horse, because I guess I don't know, like, what the mechanics
Go,
are.
Galatine.
Yeah, like, I don't know what the mechanics are about, like, horseback riding, at least, because it's, like, it looks as if, like, the most the, let's say, jockey is doing is that he's directing the horse. Like, he's telling him, hey, like, lean this way because the corner's coming up, so turn this way. And then just telling him, all right, now go faster, go faster, go faster. Look, as he's going through that straight. Like, I mean, but that's the thing, though. Like, I think I'd get pumped, like, seeing, like, a horseback race, but
it's the feels, Dennis.
But it's also, like, at this point, the race itself almost doesn't matter. It's the gambling that's come with it over the years. And it's even, obviously, bigger now because, like, you can even bet electronically or even online or even at casinos. Like, they literally got, like, whole sports betting rooms for dudes to go and like place their bets for like whatever like is going on, like whatever game or race,
and then beat their wives later.
Or their wives beat them because they didn't win and they pissed away their life savings. Goes either way. But I don't know, like there's some like sports back in the day that I watched that I just didn't understand, but like I would love to go to a basketball game just because like I think it does look inherently exciting.
Things live are a lot different, my friend. Like if you're actually you're actually sitting in the bleachers watching the horses go by, you don't just see it, you feel it. You feel like the aura in the air. You literally feel the galloping, like as they all like run by you through your feet. It's like the vibrations like go up as well. Actually being there in person is a whole different thing. Some of the best sets that I've ever commentated at like big Smash tournaments and whatnot, I've commentated a lot better because I was feeding off the hype of the crowd. Like there's this one set that's one of the most historic sets in the history of Tri-State Smash Brothers, which was Leon versus Venia at the third Fusion tournament. I casted the grand finals of that with my boy Gabe OG. And literally the whole crowd, like, and it was a local. It was a local tournament. Like, it wasn't a major or anything. The whole crowd was going insane. Popping off, choosing their sides, going nuts. And the set itself was one of the craziest, like, hypest sets I've ever casted in my life. And I felt like I was literally casting better because I could feel the hype off of the crowd. Like, I felt like a fucking actual broadcaster that day. When I do it online, it's like, yeah, I'm still doing my job. It's not as exciting. It's not as exciting. I'm just not going to lie to you on that front. So, yeah, that's not the main reason that I'm not really proactive with commentary as of right now. I'm not going to get into the reasons as to why I haven't been doing it as much. But, yeah, actually being there is a whole different thing. But fuck me, man. Watching horseback racing on fucking TV?
Oh,
God. Like, why? Like, why? I don't want to be like a horseback riding commentator.
What are you gonna say too? I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe there is like a veteran
Welcome
out there.
to the great race of Monte Carlo, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, he's leaning his heart straight to the left. That's incredible. Look at that.
It's like the same with NASCAR, where like the only thing that they do is turn left.
Hey,
like,
taking a left turn.
he's taking that left. He's taking that left, and he's taking that left. Like I don't know. Maybe there is like a veteran commentator out there that maybe like like commentators are
They talk about the logistics and the fundamentals of the game.
And also they have like a genuine passion for like whatever they're commentating on. For the most circumstances, like they usually do. But and I guess me coming in as a what do you call it? A mere observer. Like I don't know like the fucking logistics of NASCAR per se. I mean, all I just see is the cars turning left, and I do that on Gran Turismo. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I mean, obviously there is like a lot more to like automobile racing in general that like I'll never understand, because like, you know, people think, oh yeah, I drive a car, I could be fucking a Formula One driver. No, it's not the fucking same at all.
I'm not poor and stupid enough.
And not to mention a lot of those sports
Classic
too,
South Park.
those sports are also real rich boy sports. Like Formula One especially is like, you need money to even just be like, not accepted, but to even be like in consideration to
You
join,
need
let's
sponsors.
say, you need sponsors. You also like, you do need also a lot of like fucking cash like up front to give to like FIA, which is like the organization that heads like all those races.
Right.
And I mean, and then going on to like other sports, like for the NFL and like for even the NBA, like I'm not going into like the like cold hard like deep like parts of this whole like thing, because like I don't know nothing about it, but it's like, from what I've seen, at least from those sort of leagues, you don't really need a lot of money per se. Like, I almost feel as if it is a bit more like strictly skill based, because a lot of guys who join those leagues come from nothing. They like they came out of college, they came out with a scholarship, and like, you know, most of the time it's like, oh, they go and try and get like draft picked from like other teams. But a lot of them aren't like rich guys. They become rich after they become good at the game, but it's like, when they're going into it at first, like, they got no money to their name most of the time.
Yeah, because a lot of the time the game is like all they know, which is another thing. On one hand, like, you know, I definitely respect the grind of an athlete, but on the other end, I also do not respect the amount of money that's put into it. I think it's way too fucking much. Like, some of the contracts that these guys make, like, you could reduce the contracts by like a fraction of what they make, and they'd still be retardedly loaded. Like, that's some of those.
We're talking like LeBrons and stuff like that.
Not even LeBron's. Like, a lot of the people who are way worse than LeBron. I mean, LeBron's probably the GOAT. So like, that's the thing. Like, that's a little bit of a different case. But like, I'm talking like some of the others, man, because some of those guys, like the way I see it, they just never really evolve out of their high school mentality. And to me, that's the most American thing that I've ever seen in my fucking life. That they have like fucking money like poured at them instead, so they never have to grow to be anything beyond that. There used to be the whole one and done thing that they only had to do like 1 year of school. I don't know if that's still the case. I'm pretty sure it's not at this point. It's like, their grades are shit. Usually their grades are fucking shit. But they were like, oh, it's okay because they know how to do this, and this is what society values. You know? It's like, I don't like how a lot of them are just fucking, unless they are genuinely good people. I don't want to like profile all athletes here, but like some of them are really shitty people. Like, what was that dude who was on the Baltimore team who like beat the shit out of his wife in the elevator or whatever? And there was this whole thing where like the NFL wasn't gonna fucking fire him or some shit because like he was one of their star players.
They literally even had him on recording too.
Yeah, stuff like that still happens.
On video.
Yeah, stuff like that still happens, and to me that's just like, okay, these guys never mentally graduated high school. And that, like, the country's, like, totally okay with that, and they have, like, money poured at them. It's, like, to me, it's sort of just, like, increasing. Call me, like, a hard leftist or whatever, but to me, it just sort of seems like that all that money that's just poured at them is just sort of, like, it's sort of continuing that, like, toxic masculinity that's predominant in, like, society, you know? Like, I feel like the word patriarchy is thrown out a lot nowadays, like, for certain things, but that does feel a little patriarchal, that, like, some of those guys have serious issues, and, like, the NFL or whatever will try to, like, cover it up, because, like, oh, he's our star player, whatever, like, we don't want this to happen. It's like, he fucking beat the shit out of his wife. Fuck him. He should lose everything. You know, like, he shouldn't, like, still be rewarded just because he knows how to throw ball good. You know, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying.
I know. I do understand what you're saying. I don't exactly wholly agree that he should lose everything. I do think, at least, though, maybe not everything, but it's just like, I know that's the thing, though. I guess for us, like, we're just speaking about this as, like, outsiders. We don't really follow sports all that much, but it's like, I know for a lot of other people, like, if, let's say, they did hear their player, and I can't really blame them for this, if they did hear their player was, like, kind of beating their wife and shit, or, like, kind of was, it's like one domestic abuse case after another with this guy, they're still like, I'm still gonna watch him on Sunday. Like, and that's the thing, like, part of me, like, I kind of understand it, and at the same time, like, also just kind of like, I'm a bit hung up on, I get it. Like, yeah, he is a trash human being. And you should at least, like, there should be some, like, accountability and shit like that. But it's like, I still remember when Kobe, when he was still around, like, there was a whole,
Yep.
I guess that one isn't a cheating case, but, like, he was found out that he was cheating on his wife with, like, some really young-ass girl that was, like, barely past, like, 18.
No, there were rape accusations against him.
Oh, there were rape accusations.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is, though, like...
Wonder why those never got fully investigated.
But the thing is, though, and I guess it kind of had to do a little bit with, like, Kobe's premature death. People still, remember him very fondly.
Yeah.
And, I mean, people still also remember, like, those whole cases, too. Like, that whole episode that was going on around that time, everyone was even talking about it. Even people who, like... I'm not talking about media people, like, and I'm even saying that, like, people like this shouldn't ever talk about something that they're not very familiar with, like, at least, or go on and try to, like, go on a platform and, like, try to, like, I guess, how did you always say it, David? Like, project their fucking values onto others, because it's like
virtue signaling, yes.
Virtue signaling and all that, like, because I still kind of also am in the opinion that, like, a lot of great men, like, great athletes, like, such as, like, Kobe and people, like, these are guys that, like, literally are within their own minds, like, every fucking day. And, like, they're thinking, like, I gotta be the champion, like, all the time. Like, I have to keep going and driving and, like, keep doing what I'm doing and all that. And, like, it's just always, like, just constantly just banging around in their fucking noggin, like, every day, like, oh, I gotta keep training. Like, I can't stop. I gotta keep going. And I also do kind of, like, at least commiserate with them, because it's like, none of us knows what the fuck that feels like. Do you know what I mean? Like, no one knows what the hell, like, sacrificing a bit of your soul feels like to become, like, let's say, the champion of whatever you're good at. Like Kobe, and even, like, going even further than that, like Michael Jordan. I don't know if you ever saw the documentary series about him.
I saw some of it, yeah.
Yeah. And, like, like, the tone that he had throughout all of that was that he was unapologetic to everything. Because he, like, I like to think, at least, that's how his default mode was, like, from the beginning to now, because if I didn't do that, I would have never become, like, essentially the GOAT of basketball. Like, I wouldn't have become, like, the champion that I am today. And he burned a lot of bridges to get there. And I think his whole story is, like, kind of something that you can look at as a cautionary tale, because he has no friends. He doesn't have anyone, like that's what kind of happens when, like, you become, like when you literally sacrifice something about yourself to get there. Because it's not a road you can obviously make without sacrifices.
Yeah, like, the road to a champion is not an easy one, but
yeah,
that's kind of not on par with what I'm talking about. I'm mostly talking about, like, the fact that, like, a lot of these organizations try to cover this shit up. Like, I remember the Jerry Sandusky shit when that was going around. It's like, there are all these, like, scandals in sports that, like, the people try to cover up and, like undermine the severity of it because they throw ball good. And to me, that's, like, the same thing as, like, just trying to promote, like, that sort of, that jock mentality. Like, I'm not saying the road to a champion is an easy one. If it was, everyone would do it. I, like, respect the shit out of, like, athletes or even esports, players who, like, are able to do stuff like that and sacrifice their time and whatnot. It's half the reason I stopped playing Smash, is because I recognized that I was at the point where, like, I had to start playing for, like, 6 hours a day if I really, really wanted to get better. Like, I hit the point where I was pretty much only losing to the ranked and the notable players, and I didn't want to put in the work to surpass that. Some people do, and they find the time to do that, and that's all fine and dandy. But like I said, it's just like...
So you're talking, like, the organization on down, then? Because it's usually, like, the guys on top, like, let's say the guys who own the NBA or these sports teams, that usually are the ones that are usually the first ones to protect their players. Because usually, like, let's say if, like, a big name guy does get, like, allegations or something or the other, like, because, like, either a alleged rape case or even misconduct, domestic abuse and all that, it's usually the guys, like, the presidents of these teams, that are always the first to jump to defend them. Because, like, if this guy is seen as a piece of shit, then my brand and my team is going to be seen as a piece of shit, like, in general. because I always thought that like like the players are obviously they're responsible for their own actions. I understand that, but like. But those teams' presidents are even worse than the players sometimes.
That's the thing, though. Like, wouldn't they look better to fire them? Blizzard could have, like, easily said in their, like, response that, oh, we fired the people responsible for passing that photo around of that naked girl who killed herself because of the harassment. But they didn't, because they probably didn't want to get caught in a lie, because that would have made them look worse instead of actually going with it. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, if a player was really that bad, they could just be like, oh, you fucked up? We had no idea about this, but now we do. You're fired, and then they're gone. I'm talking about, like, that sort of jock mentality that people still see that shit as important. I laugh my fucking ass off every time I see a Frosted Flakes commercial. And here is why. All right?
Wait, are you about to tell me Tony the Tiger got canceled or some shit?
I'm saying that Tony the Tiger fucking should have been canceled a long time ago. He's a fucking scoundrel and a misogynist.
Okay. Explain.
Do I need to explain? Just fucking look at him. The guy's a fucking, like, jock prick. All right?
I don't think he ever touched the
Tony
kids
the Tiger?
I'm just... I don't know. Like, I watch plenty of Frosted Flakes commercials. Like,
tell me, what could the kids have done? Let's talk hypothetically.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean the kids? What
could the kids have done if a giant, buffed to high hell, anthropomorphic motherfucking tiger came up and said, "Give me that leg, boy"? Like, what would? It's great. Like, what would they have done? They couldn't say anything.
They could outnumber him.
How would the fucking kids outnumber a tiger?
I always imagine like what it would be like to just
a real tiger is already strong enough. This one can
talk. But he's got no actual teeth. He's just got big arms. He doesn't have like sharp teeth.
I'm looking up Tony the Tiger right fucking.
He doesn't. He has like fucking pearly whites.
Oh, he doesn't have any teeth.
I told you.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's still huge. He could beat them within an inch of their fucking lives. All right. I don't trust this motherfucker. Okay.
I didn't trust Lucky from Lucky Charms even more. Like,
he's a pedophile.
Like Lucky Charms could easily be 200 years old. Like he's already a pedophile by default.
They're magically delicious. I once said that on my school's fucking intercom. I was the guy who did the morning announcements my senior year.
Oh, that was great.
We were talking about like something like about like St. Patrick's Day or like Lucky Charms or whatever, and I straight up said at the end of it, I like improvised. I'm like, they keep stealing me Lucky Charms. And like the whole fucking school heard that. They're like, nice one, David. I'm like, yeah, thanks. I'm just telling the truth. They were after me Lucky Charms. But real fucking shit. All right, listen.
Oh, okay, all right. Go ahead.
Frosted Flakes has a fucking, like, they have, like, a program now where, like, a certain proceed of every box sold goes back to helping get sports back in schools. Because there's some statistic that, like, sports programs in a lot of schools or high schools, middle schools around the country are declining.
Because they cost too much fucking money.
Or they cost too much fucking money, or it's a budget thing. Mm. And like I said, whenever I see those commercials, I laugh my ass off. Call me a fucking cynic. I mean, there's more stuff I want to talk about later in the episode that will definitely make me seem like more of a cynic, but I will get to that when we get to that. I just don't give a fuck because I can't count the amount of times that for years on end, the nerds get put down. The theater kids get put down and whatnot because all these fucking high schools, like down in Texas or whatever, like state that's obsessed with like fucking like, football or whatever, literally don't have any drama programs at all, even like a shitty one.
Or even creative arts in general.
The amount of times that art programs in schools for years, and pretty much almost every high school in the country gets cut. So like the fucking so like the fucking like jocks on the football team can get a new ball. Or like can get like new balls or whatever, or get like new uniforms or rebrand their teams. The amount of times that has happened has like, it's astounding the amount of times that happened. And now that like times have changed and people are starting to value like other things besides sports, now there's a problem. Like, oh no, poor thing. Like you're the high school, the football team is not gonna get new balls. They're not gonna get new uniforms. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, like the amount of times that like, other fucking programs in schools get cut completely just so they can put more money into the sports programs, just so they could, have more games to promote the school or whatever. It's bullshit. That's happened for years and like contributes to like, creatives getting put down growing up. So frankly, when I see those commercials like save like sports in high school or whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like, let those fucking programs die. Let the other kids have a chance for once. Let the theater kids finally have a chance to express their outlets. Let the art students finally be able to do something. Let them finally be able to do something so, other programs don't get put out to shit just because, like, football is more important than everything else. Like, for years, that was the stigma. And now, like, that's finally changing and they're trying to balance that shit out a little more. It's like, sports in schools are dying. Get them back in. Like, fuck you. All right, like, I get it that there are maybe, like, some underprivileged kids who, like, that might be their only escape to something, but, like, fuck. Like, it's the same thing for, like, stuff like other programs. Like, theater kids or whatever or the other stuff. Like, it's just, fuck, that shit pisses me off. So whenever I see, like, a fucking Frosted Flakes commercial, dude, I literally, I flip off my TV. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually flip off my TV every time I see one of those things, because, no, it's not great. It's not great at all. It's fucking sugary as shit, first of all.
I used to like Frosted Flakes, though.
I kind of did too, but I'm never eating that shit ever again.
I mean, I'm not
Fuck
like
you, Tony.
David,
Suck my ass.
where like David would have like a fucking widespread proclamation when it comes to a lot of things, and I don't blame him for doing so either. But I mean, I was in a weird place with sports too, because like I never really gave a fuck about sports in high school. Like, I mean, if you guys were really into like whatever sports that you were into, like, and you had a passion for it, like, who the fuck am I to like say like, oh, that's stupid? Like, like, I think that's great if you have like a passion in something, and if it is sports, then fuck it. Like, I think that's even like it's good. It's a good thing. But I think the one thing that it's not even about really the programs per se. It's whoever manages the fucking budgets for these fucking schools. There's always something that, like, I always remember, in my head at least, like, this school, or, like, let's say whatever school that you're in, right? And let's say if even it's, like, a great school district. It's got money, right? Let's just say that. Like, this school district's got money. And somehow, even though you have this much money, and let's say you have enough within the budget to adequately pay for... usually it's a football team for most like high schools, right? Yeah. So like you have enough money to like pay for the football team, let's just say. But for some reason that like, because the school, like, I mean nowadays, and especially back then, like everything that was emphasized was the football team. And for whatever reason that may be, for some schools too, I never understood why, because like my school in general, like back in Richfield, we didn't win a fucking game ever. Like, in my mind, I was like, why are we dropping so much money into our
It's because of
team?
the football industrial complex, dude. It's like the same thing as like all the money like of the budget being put into the military.
There's also a lot of lobbying too. Like from let's say like town community members, like soccer moms and everyone, like boomer dads, like, they want their kids, like, they want to see like high school football. And
no one cares about your gay kid, Janice, trying to do theater. My son's a star.
I'd even say, like, if you want, let's say, I don't know, let's say what the whole progression is, because, like, if you want to, let's say, play college football, it's like, do you need to play, like, high school, on the high school level first to, like, even be, like, I think so. Put into consideration for, like, a college team? Because, like, I know college teams, like, they're literally one step right below the NFL, really. And, like, I guess, yeah, like, you'd have to,
cases of, like, star players on college teams not doing shit in the NFL. It's actually a pretty huge step. Like, going from that over to that one. It's like, well, obviously, it's a whole different league. It's like the big leagues, and some of them just prove that they actually aren't cut out for it. Apparently, college football as a game, despite being the same game, is obviously very different because they're not at that same level.
The organizations are also completely different too. Like the NFL is like its own fucking beast at this point. And college footballs, I'd assume, are kind of administered by like people of like the college's like staff, I guess, whatever. Yeah. But like I always wondered, like, for like, I feel as if like, I mean, if you want to play on the fucking high school, again, we're talking like as if we're talking as people who have never got into these sports whatsoever. But like, I'm just kind of curious about the world because it's like, I think, like I mean, I guess if you really do love playing, like you're gonna want to play regardless. Like, you know, whatever. Like, if we had a fucking go-kart team, I still think like that would be fucking great if like New Jersey had like a straight up like go-kart like league from like high school to college. How fucking sick would that be? I'd watch that shit, and like it'd be so much more fun than like fucking like a lot of other shit that we have. But like, I'd also
never
know
gonna
like,
happen, though.
Like go-karting is
Football.
expensive. And yeah, football is, you know,
I'm
it's
just
obviously it's also less money compared to, let's say, go-karting, because like you need all this equipment. You need a whole space for it too. You need garages.
You need pit crews.
Yeah, you need pit crews that are gonna like, you're gonna have to train those kids too to like
see like a fucking 15-year-old like, you know, like hauling a go-kart like up on like one of those like shafts and everything. He's scrawny. He can't lift that shit. His bones aren't even done developing yet. You're asking this kid to be the pit, like he needs to do his fucking homework.
He also
Why
needs
is he
to
here?
like do some jogging. Like he needs to build some muscle somewhere.
Yeah. Like, if anything, like he's that kid. Like he should join the football team. He needs that shit straightened out for him. I'm just saying, for years, the arts have been shafted and put down and declared non-important.
I do agree.
While football is like, or like sports, I should say, not even just football. I hate to, not to profile just the football players, have been deemed this all-important, completely necessary thing, because that's what the good old American boys do. They play our sports, and they don't give a shit about the girls playing them either. And now that all of a sudden, like, times have changed, you know, the world is a little more PC now. Things are, some people are a lot
we
more
need
liberal.
to bring back our sport.
Exactly.
Oh,
like, it's
my
suddenly
God.
a problem now, as if, like,
I do have
these
a problem with
programs
that.
haven't been suffering under that for years. Which
And
is
it's
why
like-
I say,
Yeah.
fuck you, Frosted Flakes. I'm not eating your fucking shit tier cereal. I personally know the fucking science and logistical reasons why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's
Wait, so
better.
is that your go-to cereal?
Fuck yeah, I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm so fucking I don't know how to say beta, but like I'm
Worst
so
mascot,
vanilla.
like the other like cereal mascots are way better. Like I hate those little minion cannibal things that just like, eat each other.
I don't
And, like
think
lick the
Cinnamon
cinnamon off of each other's skin. It's like ugh.
I don't think Cinnamon Toast Crunch even had like an actual mascot until around then.
They
I
had
don't-
Wendell the chef. He was that little chef that was on the front of the box.
Oh right, he was like the Keebler elf looking guy, right?
Yeah,
With
like
just,
the little
shelf
Keebler
head.
elf looking motherfucker. And then he had literally zero personality, so they shelved him. And now they have like, hey, you know what's really popular right now? Minions.
Minions,
Let's
yeah,
make
or
our
like-
own minions
Yeah,
and
little
have them
fucking-
fucking eat each other. Who's
Small people.
fucking creepy? Like just suck.
Raving Rabbits.
Suck
was
my
also
fucking
around.
dick, Tony the Tiger. That's all I'm saying. Apparently he has no teeth, so it would probably feel really good.
I always thought my favorite cereal was
You're gay. Yeah, here it is. It says, wear your stripes with pride. At Kellogg, we're an evolving culture that respects and accepts employees' sexual orientation.
fuck that pandering
blah,
shit.
blah, 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 blah. Blizzard, Activision, this is who we are. We're actually making great
we are the
strides to
spawn
change
of
this.
Satan.
Yeah, pride allies. Hey, you know what? That's all fine and dandy. I'm just saying, like, fuck the whole, like, bringing their sports back shit. All right? If they can find a way to balance the budget and have both, that's great. I'm not saying dock sports completely. All I'm saying is that to society, suddenly a problem.
Yeah.
It's suddenly a problem,
I do
doing this
agree.
now. Like, I just
'Cause-
fuck you, all right? Like, ugh.
Favorite cereal for me before David rudely cut me off was Cocoa Krispies. No, not Cocoa Krispies.
Fuck you.
Cocoa Pebbles from the Flintstones. Yeah, post Cocoa Pebbles. I actually started buying like the American Choice like Cocoa Pebbles, and I honestly thought it tasted fine. I prefer that over the actual brand, believe it or not. And I'm saving money too, so like fuck it. Like I love me some American Choice
Let me ask you something.
Cocoa Pebbles.
Let me ask you something. You were talking about water seltzer before, right?
Yeah, no one's more American than me because I buy America's Choice.
Exactly. Let me ask you something. What is your favorite flavor of White Claw?
White Claw.
Yeah.
I don't think I have one, TBH.
Okay, fuck.
Okay, I've had
damn it.
one. I've had one from a long time ago. I don't remember the flavor. because
All right.
I honestly feel most sparkling water, even if it is spiked, all taste the same to me.
You can just stop right now. You ruined the joke.
Okay.
It's not your fault. It's just
I don't know, David. The way your tone is like, it sounds as if it is my fault.
fuck. I really wanted to get that one in. That's, it's a classic, dude. Like, it's literally a fucking classic. When you ask people like what their favorite flavor of White Claw is, right? And then they say what it is. Half the time they'll ask what's yours, right? Because they're having a conversation. And then you go like, none. I don't drink White Claw because I'm not a fucking pussy. That's what I was trying to do to you, but it turns out you actually are not a pussy. So I saw somebody do that to Mango once on his stream. It was the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, he was just sitting there like a fucking moron, just saying nothing afterwards. He's like, the guy that he was on the Discord call with was just like, none, I don't drink White Claw because I'm not a pussy. He's just sitting there, he's like, all right, well played, GG's. GG's, dude, good game.
God.
Oh, fucking A. Well, speaking of GG's, you got something to say?
I don't got no problem with, like, anyone who does prefer drinking this shit, but like, I mean, to be fair though, I like hard lemonade every now and then. If I don't want to get fucking plastered, I just want like something like kind of tasty. Fuck it, I'll get some hard lemonade. I'm
already kind of buzzed on these mics hard.
But it's like usually my go-to drink for like, let's say eating like chicken and shit, or like, you know, if like we're gonna be actually drinking, we're gonna bring the pitcher up. It's gonna be Guinness. Like, it's gonna be draft Guinness. Like,
my stomach doesn't feel like shit, then that beer wasn't worth having.
Like, it's really like, that's just me. Whatever. I don't give a fuck if you like Coors Light and shit.
It was just a stupid joke.
I know that. But like, I know for a fact though, there are people out there that do give shit to other people about what they drink. And I like to be a little playful with my girlfriend because like, she likes a lot of like kind of like lighter beers. And I'm like, I'm always just like that. Oh yeah, but I prefer Guinness. And she's like, Guinness is expensive, and actually Guinness is kind of expensive. Like depending on like what you're getting, like especially if you're going to like the liquor store and trying to buy like a 6-pack, they're usually like the most expensive 6-pack in that whole fridge, and by a couple of bucks too. And
because it's quality stuff.
I know, yeah, I get it. Like, you know, I understand that. Like, you're buying quality, but it's like, you know, a lot of people, their first choice is like, you know, Budweiser or Coors Light or whatever the fuck. And like, I mean, if you like those beers, like, go ahead. Like, you know, I'm not even like that much of an alcoholic. I'm not saying that like in the medical term, but like, I don't like alcohol that much to begin with. So it's like, I'm just kind of like whatever. Like, if it tastes good, if it tastes good, then fuck it, I'll have it. I don't give a shit. Like,
word.
I feel as if people put too much fucking stock in a lot of shit that they do, like drinking, because it's like, like, I don't know, people's identities are just so bankrupt of everything that like they have to start emphasizing what they drink as like a part of their personality. And I'm like actually doing it unironically. I mean, like, there are so many people out there that like emphasize so many parts of their lives that are not really particularly interesting, but they just don't really got anything else going on with their lives, that like they just have to emphasize something to like kind of like build up their shit tier personality. Like, I've met so many people that like love to say that, oh, I'm a fucking social media influencer, and say that proudly. Like these fucking idiotic Twitch streamers that like literally on their resume, they would write that I am a Twitch streamer. And if I was HR or whoever the fuck was like a recruiter for a company, I'd be like, oh yeah, all right, I just toss that resume out. Like, okay, all right. Anyways, yeah.
It depends on the job, I guess, but
like, you know what I mean though about it, right? It's like there's just certain things that like a lot of people just love to emphasize that are not that interesting, but they are so bankrupt of anything else that they can like emphasize. Like drinking, I mean, something as like fucking, like, I guess common as that, they have to be like, oh, I'm a wine connoisseur. It's like, all right, yo, I could drink wine too. I don't give a shit. Like, it's not that special.
There's a certain aura of pretentiousness when it comes to some of those people. I mean, I'm a Guinness man. I am proud to say that. I won't lie, but like,
yeah, but would you shit on other people for whatever they drink?
Is it White Claw? Because if that's the case, then I think we both learned. Yes.
But in all seriousness.
No. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as they're not like super in your face about it, or if like they're just like pretend or like feel like they're better than anybody else for it. Like, there's nothing wrong with loving yourself based on like little stuff like that, how you drink. Like, I'm a Guinness man. Oh, I'm a Guinness woman. And then they fuck, and like they're like, yeah, that was part of your personality. So there you go. You met somebody else who's sort of like that, and so they understand.
All over their naked body.
So now that's a nitro fuck. I've heard like it's okay to like have something be part of your personality like that, as long as it's like, you know, I guess like.
But emphasized to a ridiculous degree. That's what I'm getting at, though. Like, you're gonna, like, what are you gonna put on your Twitter handle? Like, social media personality, twit blogger, Guinness drinker. Like,
I don't know. I don't see the issue, man. I'd put Guinness drinker in my bio if I had enough room.
I'd only give them shit too if they emphasize it to like a ridiculous degree. If you like Guinness, then fuck it. Like, I'm not saying that it's like a sin to be a Guinness drinker. It's not a sin to be a Coors Light drinker. I'm just saying that like if this is my identity and everything, like that's what I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna make fun of you for that because.
Well, what about Ron Swanson?
But Ron is not even obnoxious about it.
Yeah, but it's definitely a big part of his personality.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, though. He's not obnoxious about it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at, though. Like, if you're just like that, like, this is who I am, and you say it in a very solemn, but like, you know how like sometimes saying nothing is the same as like almost speaking like a whole novel. I'm probably butchered that fucking quote, but like sometimes silence can mean also plenty of words too. Like, Ron lives his life. That's how he lives it. I would never give shit to a man or woman who lives their life like that. But if you're like literally going around saying it's like, oh yeah, like I'm like, they list off like 50 different fucking things, and like it's like, and this is somehow gonna make me like look interesting. It's like, I know like virtually more than half of my family, let's say, work out, they exercise. Most of my family know how to cook, so it's like, that's also another thing people love to say. It's like, oh yeah, I cook. It's like, I still remember that Filthy Frank joke.
Because I bet girls really love guys who can cook.
Like, remember that joke from Filthy Frank?
Words can't bring me down. No.
You remember when he was talking about how,
beautiful, no matter what they say.
Wait. Do you remember that joke where he was basically like, he's like mockingly clapping because it's like, wow, you could do a basic human function. It's like, that's what I'm getting at, though. It's like,
I make a mean cup of ramen, boy. I ain't tell nobody about it, boy. I ain't tell nobody. I tell nobody about it.
Like, people just want to be celebrated for every little stupid fucking thing they do. And I mean, like, if let's say this is your first time cooking a fucking casserole, it's like, okay, like, I don't even know how to cook a casserole to begin with. So it's like, if this is your first time you did it, like, yo, bravo, because I can't do that. But, like, you went mountain climbing. I'm probably too pussy to even do that ever. So it's like, if you do that, like, you know, bravo, good for you. You went scuba diving and went down to, like, literally the ocean floor. I am way too pussy for that shit too, so, you know, bravo, good for you. If the pressure didn't kill you. Like for shit like that, like, you know, I'd honestly I would be amazed. Like, and I mean, I don't want to go off and say like, oh yeah, I'm not easily impressed by a lot of things, but like, you know, there's just like that fine line. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, everything is celebrated now. Oh, it's like, I'm a Guinness connoisseur. It's like, okay, like how about you go and work for the company?
I mean, I gotta be honest, Dennis, I'm trying to find the problem in what you're saying. I'm having a hard time. Because I agree that, like, you know, mediocrity shouldn't be, like, praised in the sense that, like, oh, like, I'm better than you because I know how to do this. Social media encourages that. Like, the world seems more like that the less you go out and interact with actual people. Like, trust me, I've grown to hate the Smash community as I've gone on this past year and a half. I still think there's so much wrong with it, but when I actually go out and I see my friends, I remember, like, I remember why I fell in love with some of this in the first place, and, you know, like, I actually go out and see people It's like that's part of quarantine that did that to me, you know? It turned us all into incels. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Like it's like the world told us you can't touch grass because if you leave your house, you'll explode or something. I don't know. You know what I'm getting at. So
yeah.
if somebody wants to put like Guinness connoisseur in their bio, if anything, that makes me like, yo, this guy's cool. Oh, this girl. She likes Guinness. Oh, please come to me, my darling, and we we will talk about the fucking dark nectar of the gods, Dennis.
Yeah, but
do
there's
I have
like
to make
several...
myself clear?
Yeah, but there's also several different Guinness flavors. What if like there's one flavor that you really like and she just shits on it? Like I'm pretty sure then relationship's over at that point. I'm joking, obviously, but like,
I was about to say, I hope so. Like Jesus Christ, like.
I know. Come on, David. No one
met
is
a girl a few weeks ago. She's so smart and beautiful. Dude, no. Like, I know.
I am memeing. I'm half memeing with all of this.
I get what you're saying when it becomes like a part of their personality when they start being toxic about it.
Obnoxious
when they start
about
talking
it
down to others about
Yeah.
it. Like when somebody's trying to like,
that's what I'm
go to like a certain
emphasizing,
friend's house, they're trying to shove like, spiced rum shots down my throat. It's like, yeah, here's a shot. It hurts. We're gonna put something in it that's gonna make it hurt your throat even more for no reason. But that's part of the fun, you know. Like it's like
loco.
Yeah, it's like, dude, that's different. You know, when people are in your face about it, it's a different. But that can be applied to anything. We're in people's faces a lot about something. I wanted to go on a rant about like like some states or whatever, or like Governor Murphy talking about like highly suggesting indoor mask mandates again, and I definitely still want to go on that rant before the episode's over. That counts as me technically being in somebody's face about something. So I don't know. It's like it's not a personality trait. I get what you're saying. You know, like there's a difference between like really liking something, putting it in your bio that you like it, and you know, sort of like having that sort of social media influencer thing about you where you're just looking for that dopamine rush or seeing what sort of business you can get from it. That's half the reason that I kind of don't even want to be a Smash commentator anymore, because like it's a clout chase, and it's a clout chase for a job that you're not even fucking paid for most of the time. So it's like, what am I doing? It's like I'm literally just doing this so I can get more Twitter followers. It's like, it's literally all like this grassroots esports commentary is a fucking dopamine rush. Fuck that. You know, it's like my long-term goal isn't even esports, so it doesn't even make sense. But like, you know, I still enjoy doing it. When I actually do it, I feel better going into that. So it's an iffy kind of thing. So I get what you're saying. You are talking about that Filthy Frank video, actually. You're talking about the people
like
that he was talking about in that video.
That shit, like to an egregious
exactly
amount,
like that fucking like that's like ooh yeah. the gym guy, that self-righteous who keeps taking like photos of himself in the gym, like insecurity intensifies. Words can bring me down.
Like David, I've been going to the gym. I am
beautiful. No matter what they say.
I go to the gym like about every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I haven't met those people yet. And I will admit sometimes like my arms are kind of growing, so like sometimes I just go to the mirror and just do like a quick flex and I just walk away. Like I'm just like, okay, I saw it, and then go and just go to the next machine.
Taking pictures of rocks and plants on the street because you're useless in life with daddy's money. Daddy! I want to go to art school. Oh, fuck, not this bullshit again. But Daddy, look at these Instagram likes. Let me see that shit. Holy fuck! Pack your bags, sweetheart, cause you're going to art school! Just kidding, kill yourself.
I'm not gonna... I'd like to think I'm not gonna be like that when... let's say my
You're fine. You're like the
no. I know, but it's just kind of like in my brain, like I just like part of me is gonna really want to quote that entire section from that Filthy Frank video.
I just did. I have no shame in that.
No, like, and actually like say it in front of them and just shit on their dreams. But in my brain, I'd be like for any people out there that like, let's say, are ever had that in the back of their brains, like thinking it's like, oh, what if my kid wants to go to art school? And it's like, you already know what art school is like, and it's pretty shit. But it's like I think for parents, like if your kid wants to go to art school, like you gotta be the main judge of their portfolio. if this shit that they're drawing is like fucking, oh my god, like I couldn't even hope to draw this. Like I don't think even fucking Leonardo da Vinci with 4 arms could have drawn this. Like, unless you gotta be the judge of your kid's portfolio, I feel, because in the end that's your money.
Oh my
like going into art. No, I know, but it's like, you know, part of me is gonna be wondering, like, you know, is he or she gonna regret this 4 years afterwards, or even like, you know, maybe after a year they'll be like, oh yeah, I'm never going to art school again. And I'm just like, I could have bought a new car.
I've heard such horror stories about art school. It really does seem like a scam. Like, that's definitely not the kind of thing you need a fucking degree for. No, to me, like, but whatever. There's also gender studies, and there's also so many different other things that are fucking just so useless as degrees. You know, I don't use mine, at least not yet. So,
but I haven't used mine either. So I mean, we're in the same boat in that sense. But
there's a rocks and plants on the street because they're useless in life with daddy's money. Like, I get it, dude. Like, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. Like, I'm having a hard time formulating my thoughts about this because I feel like there's more to it than meets the eye. But yeah, I mean. Like I said, I'm kind of having a hard time, like, finding that problem with you. Like, I mean, when like a whole thing becomes your personality, it can be, like, kind of obnoxious in that regard. But there are certain stigmas with that. Like, some people will be like, oh, God, I hate it when, like, gay people make their gayness their whole personality. But, like, there are also people who make, like, their hetero-ness their whole personality as well. And they're
so straight.
No, I'm serious. Like, their whole personality is being horny, and, like, that's never complained because
stupid,
of, like, that's the thing. It doesn't to some people because of, like, heteronormativity. You know what I mean? So, like, it all depends. I don't think this is, like, a broad brush, Dennis. I think it depends on the individual context.
No, yeah, like, I will agree with that.
Yeah, like, if somebody considers himself, like, an influencer.
I was just trying to be funny because, like,
I thought it was funny.
Thank you. I mean, you know, whatever you do in life, like, you know, if that is who you are, like, who the fuck am I to actually, like, you know, criticize you or whatever for it? But it's just like, once you turn into an asshole because of it, like, you can go fuck yourself, is what I mean. Like,
I'm not saying don't love what you do, just don't, like, pretend you're fucking better than everybody else. Like, don't lose that humble factor.
Can you imagine though, like, if Obama was an asshole, like, after he left the presidency? He, like, goes around telling people, it's like, yeah, I was the president of the United States. It's like, so what, that warrants you getting a fucking free smoothie? Get the fuck out of here. Like, no. Like, I don't care if you were, like, the ex-dictator of North Korea. I don't give a shit. Like, you waiting in line like everyone else. Like, that's, like, kind of what I'm getting at. Like, you know, some people, like, that's the kind of people who I'm talking about. Like, in an egregious sort of way. Like if, I don't know, like, I don't know if, like, Trump probably still thinks he is president, but, like...
No, he does, yeah.
I know, yeah, but those ex-presidents, like Bush, like, he just fucked off.
Bush is he's still trying to find Katrina.
He's gonna find the bitch. Like, he just...
find her and bring her to justice.
He literally just fucked off to his ranch in Texas and just lived out quietly. He didn't say or do shit. Every now and then he would show up for White House functions and shit, but, like, other than that, it's like he just quietly went off into the sunset.
He left office before the huge days of social media. 2008 is when that kind of stuff really started to bloom. Right. So, you know, there aren't constantly stories like, Obama said this, you won't believe number 6. Like, all stupid clickbait shit. Like,
but everyone couldn't shut the fuck up about Bush anyways, like, even before all that. Like, I heard everybody talking about how he did this, he said that. When really looking at it, it was fairly harmless shit compared to what we got, like, 2 terms or 3 terms afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
he was, like, Bush was just a fucking idiot. Like, he wasn't a, I mean, you know, people would argue that, there was the whole Iraq war, which, I mean, again, was there really any other response we were going to do other than actually going to war? We fucking literally, like, bombed the fuck out of Japan for bombing our ships in Pearl Harbor. Like, and the 9/11 attacks were a sovereign attack. It's kind of in the same vein, at least I feel. But the thing was that we practically didn't even have a clear enemy when we got there. Because after we took out Saddam, then it was Al-Qaeda.
Really, really, really bouncing from one fucking topic to another today. You have gone off on like fucking like 10
haven't
different things in like the past like.
I haven't even
hour.
drank coffee. I haven't even drank coffee today.
Oh,
But
that's not good. That's not good at all.
I don't want a reliance on caffeine though. That's the like I don't want to like my body rely on a foreign substance all the time.
No,
you know what I mean?
I need that shit to function. I know I need it to function more the more I do it, but like I needed that shit to function before. So it's like nothing ever stayed. It's like fucking vaccines. You know? We needed that shit. Which by the way, if I may.
Okay, go on.
Are you sure? Are you okay with it? You got some, sounds like you have some.
In conclusion,
it sounds like you have some shit to say about finding Katrina out in the desert.
In conclusion,
Maybe that's where she is.
Bush was far more harmless than fucking Trump.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
Everybody said that Bush
him.
like transcended fucking conservatism at the time because they're like, oh, this guy's an idiot, and then none of us knew like about fucking Donald Trump and like the shit that he would do 8 years later, obviously, because we had a whole presidency in between that. So yeah, there were a lot of people, like a lot of like liberals who were like, oh, there's no way we can have like a conservative president fucking worse than Bush, and like hold my fucking beer, bro.
And it's like at that point, like people kind of miss Bush. It's like, yo, Bush, can you run for president again?
Same. Like people were worried that like
I would love him.
Mitt Romney's not what the country needs right now, as they say, and like holy fuck, he
we
would have
need
been this
George H.
harmless. He would have been this harmless little speck of a president compared to fucking Trump, dude. Why?
I miss Bush. Like I miss his like.
I miss Katrina.
I miss his harmless stupidity. Like. That's the one thing about his stupidity. It was fairly harmless compared to other shit we've seen. And like Bush had his convictions, sure, and I mean it kind of ran the same vein as like most conservatives, but it's like it was never to like the point where he was trying to shove it down our throats though, you know what I mean? That was just who he was. Like he was just a fucking Texas rancher. Like obviously he's gonna have some like sort of Bible thumping idea.
Yeah, at least he stayed true to what he like. At least he stayed true to like the idea of that, like, oh, these are my politics and I like them. Not like the Trump presidency where there was clearly like ulterior motives to like fucking everything that he did. You know, not to say that George Bush was like the most honest president, but like
he's not a saint either.
He was a fucking saint compared to Trump. Is the thing.
I know,
That's the thing. Yeah, so I agree. I would have voted for Bush over fucking Trump. Absolutely. Wish he
it's
ran
like, look, it's like we got two retards running. I'm gonna go for this retard over this one. Basically. I mean, again, like he was almost lovable to a sense. Like everyone kind of saw him as like their retard. You know what I mean?
You kind of just want to give him a hug. You know, like it's gonna be okay. You're gonna get through. You're gonna get through this life.
It's like he's gonna ask like, "Where's Indonesia on the globe?" and you have to actually point his finger. It's like you gotta move his finger to Indonesia. It's like it's right there, Bush. I bet you there was like some person on his staff that just had to be like that was like rubbing their fucking forehead, like, "Oh my fucking god!" Like, "Oh, okay, Mr. President, like, look, Indonesia's right here, sir." It's like Indonesia. It's like, and there was another part in that whole bit from like that comedian that I watched where he's like, because it was about that tsunami.
I think I fucked a girl named Indonesia once.
There was like that tsunami that hit, and he's like, "So what the fuck is a tsunami?" Like he's about to do the address, and he's like,
"Wow, that sounds delicious. I want to order that from my Chinese restaurant, my local place. See if we can get from what is that? A PF Chang's." See if we can get some of that for dinner, Laura.
But you know, at the same time though, I would have laughed my ass off, and it just would have endeared me to him a little more, because he's just such a lovable idiot compared to a lot of other people.
Not everybody would say that, my friend.
I mean, but living through the Trump years now, and then looking back, I mean, I don't want to make it seem as if we like literally lived through like World War III or whatever, but like, you know, looking back at it now, it's
we almost lived through the Second American Civil War.
Fair enough, but at the same time though, like I'd want Bush back.
Yeah.
Compared to all the shit that we've seen over the last like 8 years, like I'd want him back. No question.
Schneider, bring all my bitches back. I need all my bitches. I need all my bitches. The new shit you put out is whack.
Dan, she told her tighter. She's a fighter, Schneider.
Lincoln Loud is tight, but I bet Zoe's tighter. Oh, fucking no god. It's like his pedophilia just slowly grew, like, from the shows. Like, the kids got younger and younger and younger as the sitcoms went on. You could literally so disgusting, man. Fuck Dan Schneider.
I mean, but did he actually come out as a pedophile? What, like, was he jailed
Dennis,
for it?
Yes, Dennis. He proudly admitted it on his social media. I am a proud
but, like,
pedophile.
did he actually, though? Like, this is all alleged shit still at the same time.
A lot of people have came out against him. Did you know that?
Okay, all right, never mind. I stand corrected. I didn't know
Robert Downey Jr. spoke out against him. Robert Downey Jr.
Fuck me.
Literally called him like one of the scummiest people in Hollywood.
Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind then. Tony Stark himself.
Yeah, Tony Stark said it, so all right. You know what? You know it's true, all right?
Okay, I stand corrected. I didn't know. I didn't go out of my way to look up if Dan Schneider was actually a pedophile. I just know him for Drake and Josh and a few other shows, which I still like Drake and Josh. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
Whatever. Like, I still think it was a great show. Like, one of the best, if not made by a slightly scummy person. Well, actually, not slightly.
So
he was actually
Dennis, I'm gonna. It's okay. You don't have to. It's fine. It's all right.
Drake Bell. Oh yeah, actually Drake Bell.
Dennis.
Yeah, he actually tainted that show too.
That'll do, Dennis.
Also, Miranda Cosgrove did not age at all.
No, she looks. Yeah,
she looks exactly the same as when she left iCarly to the new series that is on right now. And I honestly love how that new show is also being memed to death as well, which kind of makes me feel good about it, because I don't think any show for the general populace in general, whatever, for the general populace is like good unless you can meme it to death even. Like, I still see iCarly memes from the first show like plenty of times nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, Spencer. Is Spencer in the new one? I don't know.
Yes.
If he is. Oh, he is? Okay.
The only one who didn't come back was Jeanette McCurdy, who apparently like suffered the worst under Schneider, from what they say. Like she's like made like really like vague like vines and stuff saying like, how could you do this to me, Dan Schneider? Like she's said that kind of stuff like publicly. It's all sorts of heinous.
Understandable.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they're staging a walkout today. Activision Blizzard. A lot of the employees are just like walking out. They're striking now, like for to like protest against the leadership of that place. Yeah, like they even got like photos up there and everything. Like it's a whole thing. Like the fucking Washington Post was reporting on it, dude. Like, I hope this actually does wind up leaving some sort of dent in their pockets. For one, I changed my mind from what I said last week. Now I actually will not be touching Cold War. I'm just gonna play like the earlier CODs, just because they were better anyway.
That is true, though. That is true.
Just because they were better anyway. But yeah,
I mean,
at the very
also
least,
those CODs had nothing to do with Blizzard Activision, though. That's the thing. Like,
yeah, apparently, like they sort of like were in talks back then either, but I don't know what the whole logistic thing is. Like, but point is, I'm not a fucking. I don't hate women because I played those games back then. Like, if you think that, then like I don't know, grow up. Just yeah, but like so they're staging.
Girls play Call of Duty too. What the fuck?
They do. Wow. I didn't know that. Well, yeah. So
I could get pussy online in 2005.
No.
I mean, everyone was saying that they were fucking each other's moms like back in the day. So I mean, I don't know. Like, probably not out of the question.
Do you think there was a tiny percentile of there where, like, in one case, it was actually true?
Like some guy actually fucked like
was fucking his
mother?
mom? Yeah.
I'd like to think there was, just in like the. I don't know nothing about the laws of probability. All I know is at least, like, there's always that like 0.1% chance of something, and that's always still like that's not zero, so it could still, technically speaking, happen. So, I mean, I don't know if doxing was a thing back in the day, but it's like, you know,
there was some crazy shit that like some other people could do. Like I had this one friend in high school who like told me that like somebody he was in a call with like turned off his Xbox like from like the fucking like from the other end of it, and then like got back on. He was like, yeah, I can do that. Like he was like with an actual like hacker or some shit, and he's like I unplugged that shit like ASAP. I'm like, get the fuck, get away from me. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't.
Some guy
what's up?
Proudly out there has fucked someone's mom. Like, I was like cucking.
High five.
That was
Very nice.
I was cucking before cucking was even a thing.
I think cucking has always been a thing. There just wasn't always.
No,
that
but we didn't
word
have a
for
name
it.
for. Yeah. We didn't have like a. I think cuckold was still like a word back in the day, but it's like it's been popularized now. So
Yeah. I don't know. Let me.
But yeah, I stand for those workers though. Good.
Yeah.
They should be doing that.
I'm happy that it's getting national attention now too. So hopefully something comes of it and it just doesn't wind up being like, oh, this is the trend of this day or whatever. Like, yeah, I hope some good shit comes from it because they own so many franchises that they've just driven into the fucking ground, like just like from their alcoholism and sexism. Because like it's clear that like you mentioned, you're not the only one. You said this last week before everyone else was saying it, but everybody else is saying now like, I guess it's pretty obvious why the games have declined so much in recent years, because they're just fucking going in and drinking and shit and like fondling like the fucking women coworkers that are in there.
Yeah, and productivity's just going down the shitter.
Yeah.
Like, and
fucking disgusting, dude. Honestly.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I would be the first one, but I mean, I'm just saying that the writing was on the wall for a while now, and it's only just after we got news of this that like everything's starting to make sense. Like all the pieces are starting to come together, and now we kind of realize, oh, that's what it was this whole time.
Yes, and as it turns out, cuck, as you might expect, comes from the word cuckold.
That's what I said.
An insulting word for a man whose wife is cheating on him. The Oxford English Dictionary places its first attested use in the mid-13th century Middle English poem, The Owl and the Nightingale. Now, I was not expecting that.
I'm going to read that tonight.
I'm looking up this poem right now. I think we're reading it live on the show. I think that's what's fucking happening right now. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Boy.
Is it on Wikipedia? The British Library here? Oh, don't tell me I have to buy it somewhere.
It could be one of those poems that are like 70 fucking like million pages long.
We'll take a look, I guess. A book preview full... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Or is it like in a book of
Oh, here's a
poems?
YouTube video from 2010 says The Owl and the Nightingale, the first 40 lines. So I guess it's pretty big.
It's one of those long ass like poems. Yeah, like I always thought whenever I read like old English shit, like in my English textbooks, it was always like Shakespeare stuff, right?
Yeah.
But I found out that like a lot of the plays that were in those textbooks were actually like really cut down, abridged versions of like Romeo and Juliet, Julius Caesar, all those like famous plays. Like they were all like really cut down versions because like the actual versions are obscenely long, which I'm like.
Yeah. All right. So I guess sorry, we're not going to be reading The Owl and the Nightingale, but
It ends with David's a cuck. Anyways, yeah. Blizzard, fuck them. They also cucks too. Yeah.
I put that card right through the fucking like paper grinder, bro. I don't even have that symposium fucking simp card anymore. It is not part of the Double D cinematic universe.
It's been retconned.
Yeah, it's my fucking. Actually, no, it hasn't been retconned. It's my redemption arc. Look, all I'm saying is that I didn't retweet Pokimane onto my timeline the other day. That's all I'm saying.
Oh.
Everyone's know who I'm talking about. That's all I'm fucking saying. Anyway, before we run out of time here.
She's never gonna touch your dick, bro.
It's the worst. Like, dude, like, please, there are real women outside. Go talk to them. Like, you don't make yourself attractive to women by, like, bending over the fucking knee to them. Women like confident guys who are not afraid to be themselves.
And show their dicks in public.
Yeah, like, no. Ignore that. Like, just being yourself is what brings them to you. Like, and you don't even like them for them being themselves. You just like how they look. It's like, it's a whole thing. Just focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, and a woman will come to you, okay?
Yeah, she will come on you.
Well, that's a whole different story. You might have to learn how to do that. Like, you have to learn where the clit is and whatnot, and then go, like, to it. And...
You know, when I actually found out how to actually properly finger a girl, I was actually stunned because I didn't realize how simple it was. Because, like, when you're young, you just like stab the vagina, but like you just am I doing it right? She's like, yeah, it's great, yeah, keep going. And you know, when it's like actually you're supposed to like, you know, like just, you know, do the come hither motion. When I found that out, I was like, wow, I'm a fucking moron.
Dennis, I gotta be honest with you for 1 second. My mom walked in as you were doing that whole bit. have to take my headphones off for a second, like tell her like, yeah, it's cool, go where you're going. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
It's like those memes where it's like when you're watching the show when you're alone, and then when you're watching the show when your parents walk in.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they're on each other doing their thing. But, like, yeah, it's pretty easy if like you listen to the woman, if like she wants you to do something specific to her. Also, like I said, you know, you pull like a fucking like curtain. You're open. It's time for the show.
Yeah,
time for the big show. Gotta
gotta-
see the show. Bah, bah, bah. It's electrical. Bah, bah, bah. You
Gotta
open
lick
it
her
up.
eyeball.
I know how women like to be touched on their open
eyeball.
Yeah, and then you open it and there's a little bean and you go like, and then there you go. It's
You just fucking smack the bean.
it's like I feel like if more like young guys like thought of it as like, oh, there's like a really sensitive part of like your dick and your foreskin.
Yeah.
Well, here's like the female version of that.
The equivalent of
like literally
of that.
think about it like that, and then you'd be like, oh, I get it now. Like that's where that sensate. Oh, like I feel like more guys don't think about it like that because when they're with a girl for the first time or first couple of times, they're just so focused on like, this is really happening.
Yeah, and they just like really. But like that's the thing though. Like you gotta also learn it at least for 5 minutes academically. Cause like when they first are doing it, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They just like just think
that
like,
is a PowerPoint presentation I can see Pink Guy doing.
But my point is that like when you're first doing all that shit, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So once you finish it, then you're gonna look up like, okay, like how do I actually like eat a girl out, like, or how do I actually finger a girl? Like that's like what I mean though.
Yeah,
it's the same research that fucking girls do when they like give a hand job, but like the guy's just like fake going, oh yeah.
Oh Lord, dude, I fucking remember when I gotta shut my door. I don't know if my mom is.
Oh, David.
We can't having my mom come in like while I'm fucking talking about that, but I'm just saying, man. Oh God, it's so cringe. When I lost my virginity, like she went to go like get like some what did she want to go get? Like I think she went to go get some lube or something or whatever, and I was like young, and I was still like just trying to like keep my dick up, and so I was like sort of still jacking off with the condom on. And I didn't realize that was gonna like fucking that dries the condom out. Obviously, like I didn't fucking know that because I was a young idiot. So I was making lots of mistakes. But it's true what they say: the first time is good, the next few times are great.
After you do some research,
because that's when you like start to slowly learn what you're doing. Like I was lucky that I had a woman who was kind to me and like didn't like make fun of me for like. I mean, I didn't make fun of me for, like, not really knowing what I was doing at first, since, like, she knew that she was taking my virginity. And, yeah. So it sort of just taught me some things as well. Shout-outs to MILFs. Ladies and gentlemen, they're nice.
Love them. You gotta love them.
You gotta love them. I was gonna talk about this earlier, but Dennis talked about, like, 11 different topics.
I'm so sorry.
You do have a tendency to do that, and it's all well and good, but sometimes you'll be like, you're talking about one thing, and it reminds you of something else, and you'll be like,
and then it just bounces
so the
off
thing about cuckolds, like, you'll mention like cuckolds as part of a joke, and then you'll talk about cuckolds for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I just want you to be aware of it. That's it.
I know. I am aware of it. I've been trying, like, at least to just, like, be like, no. It's like, stay fucking focused, you idiot. Like, don't go off on cuckolds for 10 minutes. Like, you were talking about 9/11. Stay
exactly. Like, how do you go from 9/11 to oh, they sure cucked America. Like, dude, it's fucking insane. Like,
yo, those were two of our towers. They cucked us of our 2 towers.
Jesus Christ.
What?
It's a talent. It's a talent. It's a talent.
That's not a talent. That's
also
very bad.
A detriment. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in terms of like conversation, like God forbid if like I was talking like with real people and like I talked about 10 different things and within 10 minutes, they'd be like, where the fuck did the conversation go?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
We were literally talking about puppies, and now you're talking about Al Qaeda. It's like, yo, the thing is though, you know how much terrorists don't like things, like happy things? They hate puppies too.
Well, you did mention that one of your puppies was named Katrina, right? And I have reason to believe that Katrina is connected to Al Qaeda. Like I said earlier, they both start with a K.
Can you imagine if like a dog was like put on like the America's Most Wanted list because it was like part of a terrorist organization? Like this dog like blew up the American embassy. It's like on a manhunt to find this dog.
I'd like to think that the dog would know better. I like to think that.
But we train our dogs to do a lot of like borderline military stuff.
Dennis, do you see what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. You're asking me a question, and I'm just saying I'm not going into it. But we have dogs at airports, drug sniffing dogs. We could train them to do anything, really.
I guess.
We got dogs in the military. Like,
Semper Fido.
go on with your rant. I hate you.
Semper Fido. Salute to all the service puppos.
Wolves in salute.
I see service puppos all the time at my work. And speaking of, you know, you have like all these people like talking about like the Delta variant, whatever, for COVID now. Delta variant, Delta variant, Delta variant, Delta variant, blah, 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 blah. Governor Murphy he made a whole like virtue signaling thread today recently, as like he made a whole re-election in a couple of months, please still vote for me thread.
Okay, yeah.
And one of the things he said in there was that like if things like our like levels of like, you know, people who like have like are getting sick or still get sick is like a fraction compared to so many of the other states. And I'm not surprised to see that. But he said in any way, like if they got up to those numbers that, you know, states like whatever Alabama or, you know, whatever over their hick state, you know, people aren't getting vaccinated and get to, he said like we reserve the right to impose an indoor, to reimpose another statewide indoor mask mandate, because the CDC just released some guidance or whatever saying that like, oh, you should mask up indoors again if it's a crowded space, or if there's like, what do you call it, immunocompromised people around, blah, blah, blah. Or, like, if there's people who haven't gotten the shot yet. And I'm gonna say this, I don't want to fucking vote for Murphy again if he fucking reimposes another mask mandate, which I'm scared he's gonna do once he's reelected. Like, once he's, like, shit is secure for him. You know, because I feel like he's just virtue signaling to that base of, like, who still want to wear masks everywhere and everything. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I got my shot. I am not an anti-masker. I was terrified to not wear a mask in public. I've gone to fests where I was literally the only person wearing one at, like, the peak of the pandemic. Why? Answer me this. Why? You know, I get the whole thing that, you know, like, there can be breakthrough infections or, like, you can spread it still, like, if you're vaccinated, but you're way less likely to spread it to other people if you are vaccinated. Even the Delta variant, which, to the letter, the Pfizer vaccine, at least, is 88% effective at fighting the Delta variant. 88%. It's still very effective against that one. Now, I get the whole idea is that, like, you know, you don't want, like, these variants to come around, blah, 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 but, like, here's the thing. I am not fucking sacrificing my social life again and becoming a fucking hermit out of no choice of my own again and going back to the dark again just to fucking protect the people who refuse to get the fucking shot. I'm not doing that. I'm not fucking doing that. I don't fucking care. It's like there's the whole idea of, like, you know, like, oh, protecting as many people as possible, blur to blur, and I get it, but, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm just sick of it. The idea that, like, if in any way we would have to go back to how things were at the beginning of this year or the way they were last year, all because, like, there's these fucking, like, QAnon fucking dipshit assholes who believe everything they read online and that the vaccines don't work, blah, blah, blah. It's all a conspiracy theory against me. Like, who fucking cares about those people? Answer me this. Who cares about those people? It's like, I'm not fucking going back to, like, how things were last year just because these fucking assholes refuse to get the shot. Immunocompromised people is one thing. Like, you know, it's a global pandemic. I'm just talking about America here right now. I'm not talking about the rest of the world, you know, who not all has access to the vaccine yet. Why do we have to be punished? The people who did everything right, you know, social distance, stayed away, like, didn't see our fucking family and friends, probably had to go to fucking funerals over fucking Zoom, all because of, like, you know, people who just didn't give a shit about protecting us before because they all believed it's a hoax. So now we have to protect them because of a variant that they basically created because they refuse to get it? This is gonna sound edgy as shit, and I don't fucking care, but honest to God, let the anti-vaxxers die. Let them fucking die. I'm serious. Who cares? What if somebody is that low of intelligence, who are we fucking losing? Really, why do we have to fucking regress and have like these fucking mandates imposed upon us again that those fucking assholes are not gonna follow regardless? Just because they broke the rules. I get it in terms of like, reducing the variant spread or eventually, making variants that would be resistant to the vaccine, which by the way, they came out and said that, like a third booster shot coming out would pretty much like be completely effective at halting the Delta variant. So we wouldn't have to worry about that. Everybody who wants to get that shot would. I don't understand, Dennis. You remember like a couple like weeks or months ago when like the CDC said like if you're fully vaccinated, you no longer have to wear a mask at all?
Yeah.
And everybody thought that was too soon. I'm too scared, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, to me, it seems like the CDC has given up. It seems like they've given up, and they're literally saying just
threw their hands up in the air and just was like, fuck it.
No, yeah, straight up. Like, they basically said, like, okay, now you can go out and just wear one. You're not going to be able to tell who's vaccinated and who's not.
Anyways.
But who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? If they don't get the shot, they made their choice at this front. And I even said this to my fucking therapist, like, months and months and months ago, even before we even knew of a vaccine. I said, like, once it gets to the point that, like, we will have to mask up just to protect people who refuse to get the shot, to what end? Because those people are never going to do it. Right? So how is it fair that, like, we have to, like, sacrifice our social lives again and have to fucking wear masks everywhere inside we go again just to protect those assholes?
But
you know what I mean?
I do agree that I'm also kind of, like, a little about, like, them kind of rolling back their unrolling back of the mask order. And I don't blame people for thinking that, oh, this is just going to be like a stepping stone for them just going back into like lockdown. I'm hoping that's not the case, but I mean, there's really nothing else I could say on the matter because, like, we don't really know anything yet. I mean, like,
well,
what wave are we on in terms of COVID? Like fucking wave 7 now at this point?
Well, that's the thing,
Yeah.
like, isn't by like, like just giving like these people like treatments or whatever and like they try like keeping them. I know this sounds fucked up, but like literally, I feel like we're just ignoring natural selection here. You know what I mean?
And we've also like, at least the CDC and the state itself, I keep getting emails about like vaccines and shit like all the time. And it's like they've been telling you as in like the non-vaxxers and all them, like they've been telling all these people like, go get vaxxed. It's fucking free. You don't have to pay a dime to fucking get it. And they're still choosing not to do it. And I've also agreed with David on this, and that, like, if they choose to do that, and if they die, fuck it, who cares? Like, it's been a year of this shit already. If they're not gonna listen now, when are they? Huh?
Never.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, are we gonna have to throw money at them to finally like fucking get it? Even then, I don't think they're gonna do it anyways. Like, even if we gave them like, let's say $100 to fucking go get vaccinated, they're still not gonna do it. Because they're gonna be like, oh, it's like computer chips in my...
They're putting chips in me. I'm tweeting to make sure they know that from the anonymity and safety of my phone, which the government totally isn't spying on through me here. Like, I swear to God, like, literally fucking inbred levels of stupidity. What's the fear? What's the fear of losing those people? Like, they're the ones who are prolonging this. They're the ones who are prolonging the pandemic. Why the fuck do we have to go back? Why do we have to get punished? I don't get it. Like I said, the Delta variant, like, dude, even if you get the Delta variant with the vaccine, you're not only most likely going to be asymptomatic, at worst, you're going to be, like, a little sick. You're going to get a bad cold or something like that, and you will be fine. If anything, guess what? Like, all the droves of people, the hospitalizations going up, it's 95% unvaccinated people.
Yeah.
Shocker to fucking no one.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're going to treat those people. They're going to go back out, And then they're just going to continue fucking doing this. They'll get COVID again and create more variants and have it spread. Like, we're the ones who are prolonging this by fucking trying to cater to the people who are prolonging it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know this sounds fucking dark and stupid or anything, but I feel like we're ignoring natural selection. Oh, I'm not going to get the vaccine, but I really want things to go back to normal. Then fucking die. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to fucking argue with. Then die. Like, who fucking cares? Like, why are we... I feel like there's this whole notion, or like it's being politically driven, that we have to, like, save every life, max up to save these people and whatnot. Like, dude, what do you... to protect the fucking anti-vaxxers? Who cares? Let me tell you something real quick. I work at the... I've always said I work at the American Meme. I have said that before. At the American Meme Mall. I work at all the different types of kiosks, like selling all different kinds of products to people. Pushing different stuff. I interact with hundreds of people a day. I have thousands of people pass me. I work right by the Nickelodeon and the DreamWorks theme parks. I have literally thousands of people, more than half of them not wearing masks, pass me by on a daily basis. I have worked with people who have chosen not to get vaccinated, which, whatever, that's something in and of itself. Apparently, you know, one of their doctors told me that, like, they told him he shouldn't get the shot. Whatever. I'm vaxxed. I don't care. So here's the thing. I have never worn a mask for 1 second of this job. One. I go in not wearing one, and I go out without wearing one. Again, I have never gotten sick. I have still not gotten sick as long as I have been doing this job. And do you want to know why? Because I got the fucking vaccine. That's why. So why do I have to wear a mask for like 6 to 10 hours a day again? Like fucking like sweating up all over my face, muffling my voice when I'm trying to talk to people and sell a product to them. All because of these fucking conspiracy theorist pricks who refuse to do anything to protect anybody. They don't want to protect themselves. So why are we protecting them? I know that it's supposed to be like this, like, one for all and all for one kind of thing here, going here for everybody, that we're all in this together, but those people have made their fucking choice.
They made their choice a long time ago, too.
They have made their fucking choice, and by catering to those people, by reimposing mask mandates to protect them just because they refuse to get the fucking shot, is just...
No, let them die.
Is just
let them die.
Thank you! That's just what's continuing the cycle. Do you know what I mean? And then we'd have to impose like more restrictions again, or if there's another variant that becomes vaccine resistant again. Do you see what I mean here?
No, I do.
We're ignoring natural selection.
This is nothing, like, this is literally all choice based. Like, their decision to not mask up or to even take or get the vaccine in general, like, that's all their own decision. And people need to learn that there are consequences, because I feel as if these guys, I feel these people in general, these anti-vaxxers on all of them, like, the only way they're going to learn is if they see a loved one die. I feel like, I don't know. What else is it going to take?
I don't know. I don't even think that's the case. You want to know why? There was a case recently of, there's a big thing, and I forget what, like, newspaper or whatever reported it. There was a kid, right? A guy who was a survivor of the Parkland shooting in high school. Okay. His dad does not believe that the shooting ever happened. His fucking father is a QAnoner, and he thinks his son is lying. Can you believe that shit? He's ignoring his son's own fucking trauma. The fact that he lost like 9 of his classmates, according to the article, because of fucking dumb shit that he read online. He believes that, oh, the liberals they're the ones who politicize everything. It's all a hoax. It's a scam. Meanwhile, like, why are you coming at me? Like, why can't we just have different views? Like, I have these views, you have these ones. Why are you putting politics before people? Meanwhile, that fucking prick is putting politics before the trauma of his own son. It's like those people are projecting so fucking hard. So, Dennis, to be honest, even if they see a loved one die, I don't even think that's gonna change anything. I think they're still gonna believe it's not real. Like, this guy literally, like, doesn't have any answer to what actually happened to his son, but he believes it was fake. because of just fucking dumb shit he read online. Like, he's gone. Those fucking QAnon people are gone. Like, I'm pretty sure I have some relatives who believe in that shit. I could give less of a fuck if they lived or died. I genuinely don't care. Like, there's that whole notion that blood is thicker than water, and everybody always forgets that blood is literally fucking made of water. So you gotta choose your blood. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The people around, you are my blood, Dennis. Not literally, but you are my blood. You're one of my best friends. My family is my blood because, like, they never sacrificed the integrity of our love and care for each other because of these dipshit conspiracy theories, and then claim other fucking people are the ones who are putting politics before everything else. Like, these people are incurable. They've made their fucking choice. They're not gonna budge, no matter how hard you try to, you know, impose the vaccine or talk about these rates. There was a fucking thing in the NBC news all of a sudden of a guy who was hospitalized with COVID who still said he didn't want to take the vaccine beforehand. Who was hospitalized with the fucking disease. You cannot fucking fix stupid. This is a direct Albert Einstein quote.
I was about to say that.
Direct Albert Einstein quote. Human stupidity is infinite. That he said that. He has gone on record saying that. So why are we still waiting for, like, the vaccine numbers to go up, and then we have to, like, impose the restrictions on ourselves, give up our lives again, our fucking 20s, Dennis, our fucking golden years as young adults, just to fucking protect those people who didn't give a flying fucking shit about fucking protecting anyone. Let the fucking anti-vaxxers fucking die. Who cares? They're fucking stupid as shit. Like, they're not gonna fucking make a difference in this world.
That's true.
I know this sounds fucking dark as shit, but I'm saying this
no,
because
I think you're being
because
very
I care.
but you're also being pragmatic, though, because we've tried everything. I mean, we as in, I'm not the CDC or whatever, but, like, they've tried everything. They've literally tried everything. The fucking thing is also free, so it's not a money issue either. They've made their choice. They made it a long time ago, too. Even before this fucking vaccine came out. Literally, they've made it since day one. They are going to deny it until they die. And they're going to die on that hill regardless.
Literally.
I also will agree with David.
They're literally going to die on that hill.
I really hope. That's true. I really hope none of you guys in the audience are, like, one of these people. Because, like, if you are, and you continue to deny it, like, I've never talked to any of you, like, personally, but, like, if any of you are, then, I don't know, you're dead to me. I don't know what the fuck else to say. Like, literally, like, what else?
They're gonna be dead to the world at some point.
Like, what more do you fucking need? Like, and that's why, like, at this point, I'm kind of just like the CDC when they, like, rolled it back and then unrolled it back. I'm throwing my hands up. It's like, fuck it. Like, just, if they die, they die. Fuck it. Like, I don't give a shit anymore.
I spent a fucking year not being able to see my friends, man. Like, dealing.
To be fair, I'm
ahead.
also sick and tired of listening to this on the news. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, I thought, for me at least, if I get the vaccine, COVID's over. For me. Not actually, but, like, you know what I mean.
That was
for
what
me,
the end goal was inside for all of us, you know?
Yeah, like, if I get the vaccine, then I don't have to fucking worry about this shit. Yeah. For the most part, yeah, like, none of you guys really have to worry about it, those who got vaccine, but I'm still hearing this shit on the news. I'm still hearing fucking, not like a crazy number like at least a couple months ago before the vaccine came out, but, like, you know, still hearing people, like, getting hospitalized. I have a friend who's a nurse, and she's, like, I can't say her name, I don't want to say her name, but, like, she's been telling me, like, yeah, like, the people who are coming in are not vaxxed people. And, like, dude, like, she's a fucking medical professional. Who the fuck am I to, like, you know, like, speak against her on that shit? Like, she's at the forefront. Like, she's seeing all this shit, like, with her own eyes. And, yeah, you can't cure stupid. And I want to wrap this up a bit, but, like, literally in conclusion, like, if you are willingly, like, not getting vaxxed, then I'm sorry, like, you deserve whatever fucking symptoms you get from the virus, and if you die from it, then fuck it, you die. Like, I don't know how many people think the same way you and I do, David, but, like,
Apparently no one, because, like, everybody, like, I know some people are saying they want to mask up again. I see a lot of people saying, fuck you, I'm fully vaxxed, I'm not doing this anymore, I've done everything right. But the politicians will say that, like, the ones who don't, say the virus isn't real or, want to just free up everything regardless of vaccination status, you'll have, like, Murphy, who I wanted to respect, I really do, and now he's fucking threatening to, like, make us all wear fucking masks everywhere we go again.
But to be fair, though, even if he does,
a lot of people still aren't going to do it.
they're not going to do it. And most restaurants, even, like, I don't really think they're going to give a fuck because, like, the whole idea of, like, oh, you got... I've been to so many restaurants where, like, they still had, like, the fucking signs that said, like, oh, mask up. And I'm not doing it because, like, oh, I don't give a fuck. But, like, I am vaccinated. So, like, no. Like, I had the... Okay, this is going to sound real pussy, but, like, I got the chills for 2 days for this shit. I am not going back to wearing masks. No, I still wear masks every now and then, sure. Like, if there is, like, certain places, like, supermarkets I kind of wear masks for.
Right.
But it's like, I got vaxxed for a fucking reason.
Exactly.
It's the same argument, I think, that goes for anybody. And I think if people sort of kind of, like, just... I mean, I guess if you're young, who knows? But... What my point is that, like, because again, I do want to wrap this up. Like, I don't think, that shouldn't be like a fucking like it shouldn't be our responsibility. As David said multiple times,
Thank you.
It should not. We're not fucking here. Like, why do I gotta baby these fucking retards? like, why do I have to fucking help babysit them? Like, it's not my fucking responsibility. You as an individual are responsible for whatever actions you take.
Dude.
If you die, then that's your own fucking fault in terms of a virus. Like, sometimes lightning can hit you, who knows? But, like, if you die from the virus and we've put out the vaccine for literally, I think, like, quarter of a year now, that's your own fucking fault. Like, that's no one's fault except yours.
Do these politicians not realize that by reimposing a mask mandate, you are giving these fucking dumbass anti-vaxxers even less of an incentive to get the thing? Because they're still gonna have to fucking wear a mask everywhere and have the restrictions as if they weren't fucking vaccinated. Nothing about that decision makes any sense.
Or difference.
Exactly. It's why I think the only fucking solution is what I like to call the God solution, because I see it as, like, literally natural selection. These people have made their choice. The strong survive. And in this case, the strong is the intelligent. Or just even the average intelligence people who decide to get this thing. So by fucking, like, catering to those who refuse to get it and protecting them, we're prolonging this shit. Yeah. Like, they're never gonna change their minds. So, like, the more we... frankly, as dark as it sounds, the more of them that we let die, the quicker we are to, like, completely, like, being, like, completely past COVID. Mm-hmm. I just don't fucking understand. Like, part of me feels like Governor Murphy is, like, virtue signaling to his base, who, like, still want to wear masks, like, everywhere, forever. And I know some of you might be thinking, oh, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal with just, like, wearing a mask forever? The way I see it is that it's a humanity thing. I have said this tons of times before in the past, and I don't mind it being a little longer, Dennis. Don't worry. Like, I'll cut and paste what I need to in the recording, and I won't keep you too long for whatever your outside life plans are.
Go on.
Oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought because of
yeah, because you just had to basically shit on me, huh? You fuck. You deserved it for losing your train of thought. You fucking retard.
It's just dumb, man. I feel like we're just fighting natural selection here, and, like, by catering to these people, we're sort of making it longer to those who are never going to change their minds. The more of them die, the closer we are to actually getting past COVID. And before you say that, like, oh, you're only saying that because you don't have any relatives, like, who believe in this wonky QAnon stuff, or that the vaccines is a hoax or whatever. Trust me, I have so many, like, relatives out in Long Island who are very conservative. And I think they're kind of reckless if my knowledge isn't correct. And, like I said, I don't care. Like, they say blood is thicker than water. Blood is literally made of water. Yeah. I had something that I was going to say, but like I said, I forgot it. So, yeah, Yeah, I think I've made my piece. I think I've said pretty much everything. Point is, it's like, I feel like we're trying to protect everybody, and these people don't give a shit about protecting anybody other than themselves, and we gotta
So why should we give a shit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just rip off the fucking Band-Aid now. God fucking damn it. Ugh. Well. Time to hit the dusty trail.
And, guys, again, like, if you are being safe out there, you know, obviously still stay safe. Like, don't be an idiot. But, like, but if you just, like, this is for all the people who don't have the fucking vaccine. Like, if you don't have the fucking vaccine, you deserve to die. Like, it's case in point. Like, I don't know how much more simpler to make it at this point. Like, that's it. Like, whatever. Like,
Well, we're talking about the people who refuse to get it.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you are those people, yeah, go eat shit and die. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if, like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe if there was a good chunk of amount of them still around in Jersey, like, maybe I'd free up traffic.
Look, I remembered what I was gonna fucking. You said that before, and like you said this before. I'm gonna say this before because I remember it now. You know, some of you might be thinking like, oh, well, what's the big deal? What's the big deal with wearing masks everywhere? Well, besides the fact that we're not doing it for the right reasons and to protect people who didn't give a shit about protecting us, I'm not talking about the immunocompromised. That's different. I'm the immunocompromised and, you know, old people who don't have the shot for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, they made their choice. Me personally, not only do I want to work all day wearing one of those things, I just think it's fucked up. The idea of going outside for God knows how long at this point, it makes me feel like the idea of going outside for God knows how long at this point and just never seeing anyone's face again. That's unnatural to me. That's inhuman to me. It feels kind of controlling, is the one thing I sort of agree with on some of those people who think like the virus is manufactured or whatever. I mean, conspiracy theories aside,
you know,
coming from the
you don't think
Wuhan
it's
lab.
manufactured.
Yeah, but like, conspiracy theorists aside of, you know, like all that stuff, you know, Wuhan lab and the Gist and Jet. It makes me feel like how it was like when the pandemic was new, when we had to wear masks everywhere with no end in sight. Then it's a miracle. All the money in the budget gets poured into this like it wasn't with HIV at first, and then all of a sudden, we have a vaccine for this thing. That's a fucking miracle that happened as soon as it did. And now we have that. So, like, to a lot of people, that was the end of the road. And like I said, I work all day without wearing a mask. Thousands of people passing me in close proximity every fucking day. Thousands of people passing me in close proximity. And I have not gotten sick. With little kids near me, too. Little germ factories as well. Like, walking around in that kind of way. And I'm still fine. Maybe I'm asymptomatic or whatever, but guess what? I have the vaccine. So I'm way less likely to not only contract it, but to spread it to somebody else. But because of the rare cases where you can spread it to other people who aren't vaccinated and who are choosing to not get vaccinated, we all have to wear masks everywhere we go again. I'm not doing that. I'm not giving up my social life again to protect people who never even bothered to like do their civic duty to the country and to the world by not doing this.
Even the bare minimum, too.
Exactly. I'll do anything for my country. America first. Put America this and that. And the only thing they had to do was wear a mask. No, it's my freedoms, my Their hypocrisies are endless. Mm-hmm. Point is, we should not cater to those people. We're prolonging the pandemic by doing it. And if they choose to die, let them fucking choose to die. I chose to not die. Yeah. And so I'm not going to wear a mask everywhere I go. That's how it's going to be. And I don't think Jersey is ever going to get to that point, to be honest. You know, especially with our vaccination rates and whatnot. But like I said, it's just like the sheer audacity that Governor Murphy said, like, oh, we reserve the right to reimpose this mandate if things get like that. And that scares me because he really didn't loosen restrictions or do anything, frankly, until fucking Cuomo did. Like, yeah.
You know, they were talking to each other, too. It's like,
fucking course they were, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's... I've said it a million times. Now I'm done. I remembered what I was going to say about that. That's why I don't want to do it. And if you want to wear a mask, that's totally fine. I just don't want them to be mandated again when most of us up here got our fucking shot. Like, fuck the people who didn't get it. Who cares? Who fucking cares?
Yeah,
like, oh my God. Like, and I'm sure they're not all bad people, but I'm just saying I'm not going back to giving up my life to cater to them. The more we cater to people who don't deserve it, the more we're going to suffer. I'm not restricting myself because of that. Sorry. That's just the way it is. And again, not an anti-vaxxer, not an anti-masker at all. Like I said, I was terrified.
We were all doing it. Me and David, we were all doing it.
I hated those things.
Those people.
I hate wearing masks, but I did it because I have to, and I want to protect people and protect myself. But now I don't have to do that anymore. So I'm not gonna. All right, like, and I know you say things might be different now, but like I said, like the data shows all that stuff about like you potentially not contracting it. I've gone on long enough at this point. I think it's time we wrapped.
All right, guys, you can find us on our Twitter. You can find us on our Instagram. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, and all the other platforms we'll have on under our description. And guys, thank you again. Sorry for the audio problems for the last
I don't think it showed up on the recording. I just wanted to make sure that it didn't.
Okay. But if there is any audio little mishaps you guys may hear, like, sorry in advance. Like, I think one of our internets, maybe my internet, I don't know, might have shit the bed. So yeah, guys, thanks again for tuning in, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe our stuff, and we appreciate any feedback y'all can give.
Yeah.
And thank you guys again for watching.
Yeah, please get your shot.
Yeah, please do. If you haven't.
Yeah.
Love you.
It's been a long day.
I'm never
without you, my friend.
Without you, my vax.
I'll tell you about it when I see you again.
Isn't that song literally about seeing like someone who died?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
In this context.
Oh God.
Lights off, bitches.